Hello, my name is Jonathan Pearson, head teaching professional at the Yorkshire Golf Academy based here at the wonderful Moor Allerton Golf Club in Leeds. As I'm sure some of you are aware, 2019 sees a bit of a revamp of the rules of golf. Here are some short videos to hopefully explain what the changes are, and you never know, might just be able to help your golf game in 2019. Okay, so one of the major changes to the rules in 2019 is that of the dropping procedure. Now the dropping procedure has always been, in recent past, from straight arm at shoulder height. Now the only problem with this rule is when the ball used to hit the ground from such a height, it often rolled out of the dropping area itself, redrops were incurred, etc, and it slowed the pace of play down. So one of the new rules under the proposed change in 2019 is that we drop the ball from knee height. As I'm going to demonstrate, we drop the ball with the straight leg from approximately knee height. Now for those people who perhaps struggle to bend over, the rules do state that you can kneel down in the quarter kneeling position and drop the ball from this height as well. That should ensure that your ball hits the ground, raised relatively the same area, so we don't have to redrop. So I find myself, unluckily, in a water hazard. Now one of the first things to mention under the 2019 changes is that water hazards will now be known as penalty areas. So I find myself in a penalty area, and under the old rules, I certainly wasn't allowed to ground my club at all. I had to hover the golf club along the ground, otherwise I would incur a penalty. Under the new rules in 2019, I'm allowed to ground my club behind the ball, in theory, making the shot slightly easier. So I've played a chip shot onto the green. My playing partners are over there assessing their shot. I fit it quite close here. I'm well within my rights now to pop this ball into the hole, leaving the flagstick in the hole under no penalty. Speeds up the play, means my playing partners don't have to come and get the flag for me, and I can walk off and they can play their shot. So my ball's landed in greenside bunker here. You can probably tell by the pictures we've got quite a steep sided bunker, and trying to get into this bunker I'm going to need quite a bit of balance. So under the old rules I wasn't permitted to use my golf club as an aid and touch the sand. That rule's now disappeared, so if I'm going to get into the bunker here I can quite happily come in and use my golf club as long as it's not in my intended line of shot to get my feet. That's absolutely fine. One thing that we still can't do in a bunker though is we're not allowed to make some practice swings and test the condition of the sand and touch the sand. That's still a no-no. And obviously we're also not permitted to ground our club behind the ball and touch the sand before we're playing the shot. Okay, so I find myself in the bunker here. Now some of the updated rules for 29 can in some circumstances actually potentially improve your score. So in this situation here, I just want to run through one of your options from taking relief now out of a bunker. So my ball is unfortunately up against the bunker face. I've got a shot of approximately 100 yards, and if I was to take my stance in the bunker to play this shot, I'm going to have quite an awkward stance. The ball's sat down in the sand and I've got a good 80-90 yards of carry over the water. So you could argue that that's going to be a potential disaster for certainly maybe the higher handicappers who would really struggle in that situation. So one of the options we've got now is to keep that spot and the flag, and I can go back as far as I like and take relief for a two-stroke penalty. Now in this situation, for many golfers, that may well end up in a better result when the hole is finished. So that's worth something to consider. For those of you who potentially struggle out of bunkers, you can now take relief under a two-stroke penalty as far back as you like, keeping the ball and the flag in line. So I've hit my ball in the trees for a third time today. The old rule, we used to get 5 minutes. Now we've only got 3 to find it. I best get in there and try find it. Okay, so I find my ball next to the green side here. I'm going to attempt to play it with my sand wedge. Under the old rules, if I was really unfortunate to double hit the ball, I got a two-stroke penalty. Under the 2019 rules, if I double hit the ball, it just counts as one stroke. Okay, so I'm in the trees again. I'm looking for my golf ball. I've been looking at it. I'm within my time limits. I've only had a couple of minutes to find it so far, and I'm walking along and I actually accidentally hit my ball. I didn't see it, but I kick it with my feet. Under the old rules, that used to come with a penalty, but now as of 2019, as long as I replace the ball as close to where I thought it originally lied, I can play on under no penalty.